vibe. We have guests now. So welcome. Thank you guys all for being here. I'm nervous, child. I'm nervous. But yeah, Odessey The Podcast. As you know, we are a podcast that dive into mantras and affirmations just to kind of get us through our day as creatives, to kind of, we all go through things. We go through our woes, we go through imposter syndrome, we have our doubts and things like that. So this season, we are diving in a little bit deeper and different, and we're having guests and other creatives who are here just to kind of share their story and what affirmations they use as they get through. So without further ado, I have my best friend, my line sister, the godmother of my child, a model, an influencer, just I was about to cuss, but we cuss on Odessey, so it's okay. She a bad bitch, y'all. Okay, she is a baddie. So this is Miss Stephanie Briana.
Hey, y'all.
Yes. So Stephanie, let's start off from the beginning, because again, this is for creatives, right?
Yes.
When did you start jumping into, being an influencer per se and wanting to model?
Yeah. So, I like to start out with even just my journey of being creative. So me starting out as a kid, I was a dancer first.
Mm-hmm.
And so my family would tell you I probably could dance before I could walk. And so all my life, dance was really, what kind of grounded me for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so doing that from a kid, and then moving into, I did acting, I did things of that nature. At one point, I wanted to, you see the posting in the mall where you wanted to, they had the modeling stuff and the shows and stuff. And I wanted to do it, but my parents were like, girl, no, you ain't gonna do that. And I was like, well, dang, okay. So I was like, all right, well, that was always in the back of my head at one point that maybe I could do that. But I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just have to wait. So eventually over time got into also the love of photography in high school. So took a break on dance. I did step team, I did dance again. That's always was my foundation, but did photography first, fell in love with that. As I got into college, I kind of dibble-dabbled working with other creatives. So I was working with creatives who actually did clothing lines, all that stuff. So I was able to not only be on the, back end, seeing how things worked, but also, again, doing shows on the dance front and things of that nature. And then one time, my friend who had the clothing line had the opportunity for me to actually model for them. And so as I did that, I was like, okay, I wasn't that great at it at first. But I was like, oh, wow, it kind of opened up a new world for me from there. And then, fast forward, it was actually one of my clients that I was actually taking photos for. And she, again, was another fellow content creator, another plus size girl. And she was just like, honestly, Stephanie, you need to stop taking photos. You need to be the one, modeling and doing this. So that actually helped really push me into my influencer and modeling journey as well. But also the fact that I did have, my plus size influence were my aunts, my grandmothers. And after their passing, it really made me realize I honestly have always had the passion for it. But then it just makes you feel like, why not live the life that I want to live? And like you said, it pushed me to keep going forward and this is something I should really do. So I feel like, sometimes it's the stuff that you already, knew that you wanted to do, but you just need that extra push and realize what, I can actually do this and I'm actually really good at it.
So let's back up. So when you came to the point of I can actually really do this.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Yes.
When was that? What year was it?
That has to have been literally right as the pandemic had hit, and that's when I kind of started my YouTube journey. And I started doing that. I started, of course, we were all ordering and stuff anyway. So I was just ordering stuff and clothes. So I just started to try on clothes, just showcase my personality that way, get used to, instead of being behind the camera, be in front of it. And so once I got comfortable doing that, I recognized brands actually are paying attention to me. And, and then, so yeah, it really started the pandemic, I say, is where my journey really is getting serious.
So 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been 4 years that we've been on this journey or this odyssey of a creative. Now, of course, the show is mantras and affirmations.
Right.
You know, in the beginning, before all of this, I did give you an affirmation that I personally meditated on. I'm glad that you resonated with it. And because I know you. Yes. And just with everything that you're doing, you do a lot of work. Thank you. You do a lot of good things. So the affirmation that I gave you, or even the mantra, depending on how you look at it, my hard work will soon work for me. Right. So let's delve into that, because that's what we do here. You know, we just kind of take these moments and like really try to reflect on what we do. You know what I'm saying? That's your hard work. And what challenges have you kind of gone through, you know, trying to get through, making sure that hard work works for you?
One, I think most folks have this challenge is like self, right? Like that mental block, or like that thought process of like, can I really do this? Like, is this really for me? And so going through that block is just one, finding out what is it that's really blocking me? Is it a matter of like I just need to take some more time to myself to really strategize, or like what is the need that I have you know, for that time period? Or maybe I just need to take a break. Maybe I've been like really like hammering at it really hard, and like I just need to take a moment and take a step back. And so that mantra, like for me, it also is something that I always think about in a perspective of like sowing seeds. Like you know, like I feel like everybody needs to realize that a lot of the things the little things that we do add up to the bigger things. So I think that the work that I did back in 2020, I'm starting to see some of the fruits of my labor right now. Yeah. I feel like I'm more confident now when I walk in a room. I'm able to sell myself even more. Like before, I felt like I was just like trial and error. I really did not know what I'm doing. And I mean, still to this day, there's moments where, I still don't know what I'm doing exactly.
I don't think any of us know what we're doing in this world and on this journey.
Yeah. And I mean, I just think that, but the best part is also, I think, through that hard work and effort, I feel like, you know, it just takes a lot of discipline. I think that's, you know, it's one of those blessings and a curse, right? Of just like having to deal with that challenge of being disciplined. Some days, you know, you might be tired, or like, oh, I really got to record this content, or I really have to do this. But it's just like the benefit of it is bigger than like how I'm feeling right now. So sometimes I have to get past that feeling of like, I'm just feeling lazy or whatever. And so I think that's what I say that is another challenge. And thirdly, it's just like, the comparison can be a thief of joy. It can be such a thief of joy. And I think that when I realized that that was such a major challenge for me as well, because I'm in a space where when you're in the model and content industry, a lot of the time it is kind of vain. It is about beauty. It is about who is aesthetically pleasing to the eye, all of those things. And you're challenged with the fact that you're always consistently also in competition sometimes with others. And it's easy to compare yourself, to feel like, I could have done better. I could have did better, or man, I'm not up on the editing technology just yet, or all of those different things. Or even like for the modeling space, it's just like, man, maybe do I need to lose weight? Do I need to change my hair? Do I need to do this or whatever? What is it that I need to do to maybe pick up a job? I'm seeing more of these girls and not necessarily me. Or I, you know, from my perspective, I'm on the shorter side. So most models, they would like 5'7" or up or whatever. But it's just like, you get to the point where to combat that comparison, healthy ways that I combat that are changing up my timeline. I need to see more faces and more bodies that look like mine. You know, more pages that affirm me, who I am, help me in my guidance of self-love and just finding that joy within myself.
And see, I think that's something that you have to mentally know that you got to turn that on and off. You know what I'm saying? Because we kind of get into doom scrolling and just seeing, and you might see one thing from somebody and then, oh, that was cool, and then follow, or you tap that one thing from that one person and then, all of a sudden things that is similar to that starts appearing on your timeline, even if you don't follow them.
Yes.
So that, that kind of happened to a certain point on social media, but you have to really turn that on and off to be like, okay, that's a mental shift. It's a mental shift that you have to do for yourself to be able to clear out your timeline.
Right.
And make things that are more positive for you. Because we don't realize that we do the comparison a lot of times. I don't think we really know that. I want to get into, because we have multiple conversations. We have a lot of many conversations on a daily basis. I talk to this girl every single day. Except when she's on vacation. I let her live. But I want to get into the modeling aspect, because there are times where you've called me and you're like, Des, I've done this, I've done that. Like, when is my big break?
Yeah.
When is my big break going to happen? And I, as your friend, affirm you and let you know, like, it's going to. Don't worry about everybody else. Like, your path is your path, and you also don't know what that person may have done to get to where they're at versus what you've had to do to get where you're at. Let's talk about, like, feelings through that motion, and then also having that support system to kind of help you through, feeling that way, because it's a constant thing.
It is. I think at first, again, she has gotten many calls going through this, because I feel like I had a big break at first.
Yes. Because you was on Adidas.
Yes.
I did. My girl popped out on an Adidas campaign. I remember she called me and she was like, I got to get my hair done. I don't know what to do. I'm coming off work. I got to do this and the third. Had her hair in her signature bun. My girl, I love her signature bun. And she did her makeup. I know you was worried about your makeup, but you did it yourself. And you went to this Adidas thing. You were like, I don't know. I'm just going. And then next thing you know, your cousins out of Canada is calling her and telling her that we see you on the side of stuff in a big poster.
And I'm sitting here like, because I think that's the other thing, the aspect of, like, just behind the scenes, like, you shoot the content, you're on set, you don't know if the makeup artists are going to be able to do your makeup. You don't know if who's on set that can be able to, like, do your hair. Like, my hair is natural, like, and very thick, so it's just like you get nervous, and being out there, you just don't know. I didn't know what to expect because, again, I wasn't signed by agency.
That was your first?
It was my first.
That was like your first thing.
Official thing. But that's to literally go back to the mantra about, like, the hard work is going to work for you later. Me being ready. I was already taking my own photos. I literally was already building some of my own portfolio. Thank goodness I knew how to do all those things. I was able to submit for this, and they picked me up based off of the work that I did. So it doesn't matter. Like, I feel like, we let some of the obstacles and money, all that stuff, to get in our way. But getting back to the point of, like, the challenges of that I face mentally and emotionally as a model, I feel like that was a tough thing for me. And I think, sometimes to this day is I did the big thing at first, and then it kind of dwindled down. Yeah. And then it's just like, well, wait, I thought that was it. I thought that was going to pick up momentum versus it go back down.
So that definitely just shows what the journey is like.
And so what I did is like, okay, well, now I understand I was able to do this. And, like, again, we had to talk about mindset shift, is I have the conversations with myself of, if you did it once, you could do it again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good one.
If you did it once, you could do it again. And sometimes in the waiting of the next thing is going to be probably even way bigger than what that was. You got that taste because literally the next thing is like that might have just been like some bomb lemonade or something. Now you about to be sipping, something like even better. So I just feel like I have to, I say that to myself consistently. But again, I also think about the little things. So in the time of waiting and feeling that frustration and emotions, I also say, this is a craft.
Mm-hmm. You gotta work
and
on
you
your
have
craft.
to work on your craft. And one thing I do appreciate her for is also in this time is the encouragement, and that's the important thing, is the community aspect, is finding people who during the journey also are pouring into you, knowing that I see the talent, I know that it's there, it's going to happen for you. And finding your people is so important during this time.
Now, outside of me, how has it been finding friends and supportive people within the modeling and influencing community? Because I think that's another type of thing to delve in, because those are the people who can relate to you a little bit more. I'm relating to you as your friend, as your sister, and as a fellow creative, but not in that space.
Yeah.
So what is it like? Because girls can be catty. The modeling aspect, like you said, is competitive. In any creative space, you have the competitiveness and you're dealing with other people. What has it been like for you to get through getting into the community and actually finding friends and that support?
So I just, how I found a community, it worked out that somebody had DM'd me one day and they were doing a model workshop. And I actually needed that because I, of course, for the most part, I was learning on my own, YouTube University. And, and she DM'd me and she was like, I have a workshop like coming up on a Sunday, like you should come through. It's a complete workshop. Went there and the space was so loving, and like I could tell that she was very passionate about what she does, and she herself is a signed model locally in Atlanta. And I was like, wow, like this is really great. The people here are awesome, like cool. And to this day, I have built a relationship with her and then the other models that have continued to work with her in that community.
So you guys kind of built a sisterhood from what she has provided to you guys.
Because there's some people who are really and that's the thing. Find the people who are passionate about it, like not the people who are money hungry or
it's a hobby.
This is just something I do. Yeah. Like, no, you need to have that person who's able. I'm also about a person who is honest about their trials and tribulation during their times. And I think that there needs to be, to me, a true mentor, a true coach, or anybody that's going to be in some type of form or aspect of helping others or building community around, you should be able to tell me and share those challenges with me. Or even if you necessarily haven't had a similar challenge, be able to help find somebody that can, help me out with that challenge or whatever that aspect is. But I feel like her name is Sophia Mosier. So,
okay, hey girl.
Yeah, so if you guys want to check her out, and she actually just got signed by
Elite. In Atlanta?
Right now she's in Detroit. But she's going to be doing it in the workshop coming up. But she just got signed by Elite. Elite is actually one of the top model agencies in New York as well. So you can get signed by multiple agencies, things of that nature. And so she's hitting the runway out in New York with them. But that's the thing. She's been signed to one agency in Atlanta, took a lot of time, had to take some time off herself. And then now finally,
but her hard work
is paying off now.
Yeah.
And so, and that's the thing, is that we have to realize sometimes it's about the long run.
Yeah. No, it's always the long game.
Yeah. And I think that that's the piece. But I will be honest that, yes, you will find yourself sometimes in spaces where the girls are nasty. You may find, again, on the plus size, I speak from that part of the industry, there a lot of times you might go to a casting call and there's nobody that looks like you, height wise, weight wise, anything. It's going to be like, you're going to, majority of the time you go to a casting call, you'll see the standard size, which you would think on a magazine model.
And you would think in 2024,
right,
after all of the diversity and inclusion that we all preached during the pandemic, that things would be different. But in reality, that also shows us that everybody's just putting on the front, for that. And I know you've even told me that you've kind of gone into rooms and was like, look, you don't have nobody that look like me.
Yep.
You don't have nobody that's shaped like me. You don't have nobody that's my height or, whatever. I'm your girl. Like,
Yep.
literally, I'm your girl because I'm different.
Exactly.
And I don't, I would hope some of them take advantage of it. Or there's some who might still have those blockers up.
Yes.
And don't really understand where they could delve into like a whole different experience or a whole different look with somebody like you.
Right.
My hard work will pay off for me.
Mm-hmm.
My hard work will pay off for me. I want all of us to repeat.
Yes.
My hard work will pay off for me. Because, like you said, it is the long game when you're in this creative space.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as it is the long game,
Mm-hmm.
what is your personal affirmation that you have used for yourself that has helped you from the moment you started up until now? Like, what is the one thing when you look in the mirror and you like, okay, girl, and it's what you say to yourself to like push you through?
I say I'm a promise. That was something that I learned from a kid when I used to go to like my acting, dance, like academy and everything. And we used to sing that like song, and it just literally was like, I'm a promise with a capital P. And I feel like, that's something that eventually like I would love to sing for my kids and stuff. But I feel like that is one thing that I remind myself is that, I know this not only because, just because, again, the fruits of the labor that I've done, I see that the things that I've done in the past are coming, like all of that is the fruits of that is coming now. But also I also know that I've always felt and know spiritually, from God. I know that I visualize that He is literally going to use me in so many different ways. Yeah. And I feel like I'm a believer, and He's given me these talents. He's given me these things, and He didn't just give it to me.
He's helped you with your purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel like it's promised to me, and I am a promise. And I feel like at the end of the day, I know that it's going to come to fruition, all of the things. And so I think that one of those things is, not only to affirm yourself through those words, but, I have my own little playlist. Like I have my playlist that I put on that literally, consists of like, we're going to go from, again, baddie Stephanie, to that thing, or we're gonna just go into like really like deep diving of just like, okay, I'm really hearing this, like you're beautiful, like all of those different songs, like I'm just gonna have all of the different artists that make me feel good, and that can pour into me, because I think that sometimes like you just need to hear it consistently, and when I turn that on, I'm like, and it makes you feel good. I think everybody needs their own affirmation playlist in a sense. It don't have to be like a thing of like affirmations of I am this and I am that, right. But like when I listen to like glow, you know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Like, when she speaks on certain things, I'm like, stomp a little,
but I mean the thing is that people need to realize that girl's name is Gloria Hallelujah. so
she's gonna affirm you, okay?
She is.
All right, Stephanie. So as we get into this was great.
Yes.
I'm so glad that you have become our first Odessey guest. So I am going to gift you with one of our mugs. You will be able to have one, So you can choose which one you want. From past seasons, I used to end the show, which I'm still going to end the show, is being the light and sending the love, because that's what we want to do. Or your Odessey is your Odessey, which is, again, your journey is your journey, and you got to sit in that, you got to step in that, and you got to understand that it's different than others. So you can choose which one you want. Okay.
Yeah, I
like that one too, girl. Well, I want to thank you for coming and being here with us and experiencing Odessey.
Yes.
This is a new thing for me, so let the people know where they can find you, where they can see your work, where they can follow you, the whole nine.
Okay, so Stephanie Briana, and that's Briana with one N and then _ on Instagram. You can also find me on TikTok with Stephanie Briana, that's with one N _ 03. So you can find me on those platforms as well as Stephanie Briana on YouTube.
I was about to be like, we still YouTubing?
Yes, we're still YouTubing. And then for those who want to check out my work as a photographer, Stephanie Briana Photography on Instagram. So yeah.
Do you have your modeling portfolio like on the website?
So it's linked on my Instagram.
Okay.
It's on you can go on my link and you can find my portfolio out there. So yes, so your girl's always working, but the Instagram is giving portfolio too. So.
Yes. So please follow Stephanie if you are looking for some inspiration, motivation. She's gonna give it to you. If you just want to see face and body as well, she's gonna give it to you. You want to see the fit, she's gonna give it to you. So make sure you follow my girl. Make sure you follow Odessey The Podcast on all streaming platforms. It is on Spotify, Google, Apple. We're gonna figure out where else we can get it distributed because we going to a whole nother level this year.
We love it up.
Yes. You can follow Odessey Studios on Instagram. That is ODESSEY Studios. That's on Instagram. TikTok is me, Desi T. Then I also have my personal Desi T, which is DSIITEEE, that you can follow. So make sure y'all continue to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, or tell a friend.
Follow.
Yes, so you already know. Being the light and sending the love, you guys. Go ahead and sit on this mantra of my hard work will pay off for me, and I promise you're going to get through, okay? All right, y'all, checking out is your girl Desi T. Not Desi T. I'm over here doing my radio thing. See, that's why you got different pockets of creative stuff. Because Desi T is the radio name. But I am your girl Des on Odessey The Podcast. And thank you guys so much for being here with us.